The CIA killed MLK Jr. after he started talking about income inequality. His family sued the Gov claiming they were responsible for his death, and they won. Same thing with Fred Hampton. While he was a black revolutionary, Fred also was able to bring together people of different races and ideologies so they could end the economic oppression under capitalism. His hurts so much when you consider that they killed him when he was 21. He was able to spread so much at such a young age. It's tragic that his life was taken from him. He was planning a Poor People's March on Washington when he was killed. And planning a massive workers' movement meant to unite the working class of all races. Exactly, and almost all mainstream media and education omits his speeches about economy. The March on Washington was called the March on Washington for Jobs and Equality. He had another speech that ended with him saying, "We coming for the check." His opinions on Vietnam and war profiteering were also not appreciated. It was after he started talking about ending capitalism. About time we grabbed our pitchforks. I'm tired of being lied to. Once we all realize we outnumber them tenfold, it's over. King traveled to Memphis, Tennessee, in support of striking African American city sanitation workers. The workers had staged a walkout on February 11, 1968, to protest unequal wages and working conditions imposed by Mayor Henry Lowe. Does this generation have a rage against the machine? I was exposed to so many ideas and people through their music. It would be great if this generation coming up had a pop cultural icon to spread the good word. I'm only asking this because the op sounded like something Zach De La Rocha would say. JFK talked about breaking up the CIA, and we all know how that ended. Expressionless. One of his final speeches before being assassinated was straight up just about supporting the Memphis sanitation workers who were on strike at the time, quoting the biblical story about the Good Samaritan. The guy who sued the FBI was promoting a book on the subject at the time. He won by default because the U.S. government didn't show up to the trial. It was a civil case, not a criminal case, and Jr. was only seeking $100. It wasn't worth the government's time or effort to show up. I'ma just leave this here. https twitter.com/whoopie-tuesday/14824305934904337 T equals 359y8oxpi7xodcw Koch og and S equals 19. That's a highly inaccurate description of the Lloyd Jowers trial, which fell apart on further review. The decision caused the Department of Justice to reopen the case. In 2000, Attorney General Janet Reno announced that, after looking into the assassination, no evidence of a conspiracy could be found. The Department of Justice found numerous inconsistencies in Jowers' statements. It also concluded there was no proof Frank Liberto belonged to the mafia and that, in its opinion, the witnesses that supported Jowers were not credible or contradictory. Furthermore, it expressed the belief that Jowers fabricated his story for financial reward. James Earl Ray, King's convicted murderer, was an avowed racist who campaigned for the presidential campaign of George Wallace, the Donald Trump of his time. Historians theorize Ray believed Wallace would be elected president and pardon him for murdering King. Please don't blindly accept conspiracy theories with little or no evidence when the overwhelming Evidence shows that King was murdered by the conspiracy that's staring you right in the face. White supremacism. Edward Snowden more or less confirmed this. Edit. Snowden. Democracy under surveillance at 1834. There's another video somewhere that I'd have to dig around for where he adds to this. I believe that one was about the CIA. Funny how as soon as MLK, Malcolm X and Bobby Kennedy all started talking about the poor and whites and blacks working together, they were all assassinated. It's almost like the one thing they fear and cannot have happen is for the bottom rungs of the economic ladder wake up and realize we have the power and deserve to be treated as equal citizens in this country. And after he started talking of the BS of Vietnam. https www.snopes.com/fact-check/government-mlk-assassination/ Haven't really looked into this, but Googling a fact check gave me this. It's amazing how people seem stop living when they try to change the system. Like, I don't even want to be totally equal. Fine. Greedy people will keep it this way. Okay. Got it. That's the way the world works. Sure. I just want more equality. I'm fine to be a worker in the system. We build great awesome things. I'm against crony capitalism. His family sued the Gov claiming they were responsible for his death. And they won. No they didn't. Stop falling for false bullshit on the internet. I am not claiming the government had nothing to do with King's death. I am pointing out the fact that his family did not sue the government claiming they were responsible for his death and proved the government was involved. They filed a civil suit against Lloyd Jowers and owned of a coffee shop in the building King was shot. Lloyd Jowers asserted he was paid by the mob to organize a hit on King and he hired Memphis Police Lt. Earl Clark to kill him. Jowers had no real incentive to defend himself. No one knew who the hell he was until he decided to insert himself into the narrative in 1993 and told this story. He was subsequently sued by the King family for $100. The King family presented their version of events. It was the only version of events presented in court. There was literally no other way for the jury to rule. Because there was no counter-argument. Again, they were suing a guy that after 25 years claimed he was part of a conspiracy to kill King. This guy had zero motivation to deviate from his story because there was nothing at stake for him. The government was not a defendant in this case. Therefore had no reason to be there to defend itself and present evidence counter to the King family's claims. So the jury had to come to a decision solely on the narrative presented by the King family and Jowers. There was no opposing viewpoint or evidence presented. The only possible verdict was the one they got. It was a circus trial. There have been multiple reports released detailing evidence that contradict the findings of this case. Jowers' claims and the King family's narrative. Again, I am not saying the government didn't have anything to do with King's death. Just that the premise of this post is fucking false as fuck. It would be like if a murder victim's family sued someone who claims they hired you and some other people to kill the deceased and the jury was like the plaintiffs are saying you hired those people to kill the person. You aren't denying you did this. So how the hell can they rule otherwise? How is the jury supposed to find that case? That defendant is admitting to what he is being sued for. Does that prove you in fact took part in murdering this person? Of course not. All it proves is that guy admitted to being part of a conspiracy that may or may not have been real. This is why the King family just sued him for $100. Jowers liked the attention. could potentially profit from it and had no reason to renege on his claims had they went after Jowers with meaningful consequences. He most certainly would have recanted his statement, and at that point there would have been no credible evidence.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.